Hello guys and welcome to Phil's Fitness Show, and today I've got the unbelievable Mel McAllister with me. I'm going to be talking about something that happened here because she was fired for being too fat in her dance career. Hello, and let's get to it then. So thanks very much for coming on. Mel, how have you been? You been good?
I've been good, thanks for having me on.
You're more than welcome, more than welcome. So today I want to talk about something that you told me last week which completely shocked me. And you told me that you got told that you got fired from your dance career because you were too fat, and then that shocked me, but in all fairness, you completely smashed it. But that could have been so self-destructive to you, couldn't it?
Yeah, and I think to be fair now, when I look back at what happened then, it's led me in the direction of where I am now, and I couldn't be more happier.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me there to where I am now is having a strong mindset, self-confidence, self-love, and not letting anyone tear me down, you know?
Yeah, 100%, because when you got told that bit of information, I could imagine that would have sent 99% of girls completely west. Could have meant completely off track. They could have then started hating their bodies, hating themselves, forced themselves to do potentially drastic diets when they absolutely didn't need to. But how did you go about that? How did you not take that negative? Because I would have. If that was me, I would have went right, okay, I'm going to go keto for a year.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of turn it around then?
To be honest, being a dancer, coming from the dance world anyway, you're always kind of getting told you're not good enough, you're this, you're that. It's just any other dancer would tell you. That's how we kind of got trained. And for some weird reason, it's their way of disciplining us. Like, they want us to be strong-minded, but when you actually go into the industry itself, it's not like that. So I never really understand why it's so like that when you're training and you're in college. Because you're constantly getting told it, and people kind of try and test you to be like, you're not good enough, show me you're good enough, so then you kind of like bounce off it. But then when you get into the real world and you're working professionally, I was more shocked that, oh my god, this actually goes on.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, I was like, how are you saying that to like a grown, I'm an adult and you're talking to an adult telling me that I'm overweight.
Yeah.
So how I first started with it was, they called me in when I first got there and was like, we need a word, and I was like, oh, yeah, go on. And she was like, you're overweight, and I was like, okay, and I kind of just thought, I'm going to take it on the chin.
Did you think you were overweight, or did you think, right, I know I'm not, so you're chatting shit, but I know I'm not overweight, or did you think, oh my god, I feel
There was part of me what made me think, oh god, I feel a bit like self-conscious and insecure now because you're comparing me to everyone else, and I'm sharing a small, very small dance space now with these 5 other girls, and I feel like you're all looking at me when I'm getting changed. When we're getting our costume fit, it's like, give Mel the biggest costume. So
oh my God,
for the first time she said it, I kind of just thought, okay, I'm going to accept it. It is what it is. And I said to her, I was professional, I said, I'm going to do my best. Whatever you want me to do, I will do my best to keep this job. So she was like, I really appreciate that, blah, 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 whatever. So we went on. I was on the contract for about 4 months before they actually fired me. So then, and I was the choreographer of the show, so they couldn't really get rid of me because I was doing the shows.
Yeah, so you were organising the whole thing then. So they probably would have got rid of you ages ago then, unless they kept you because they needed you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that was kind of in my head, like, if I wasn't doing this, would I be gone? I don't know. So anyway, I went to the gym and I was proving them all the time that I was training and I was looking after myself, because I did anyway. So
eating healthy,
nutrition. I was eating healthy anyway, and I just thought, I'm just going to carry on doing me because I know what works for me is good. And then what triggered me was when she said to me, like, she pulled me again and said, you need to lose, it was something ridiculous, like 2 stone in,
oh my God,
in how many weeks. And that was when I said to her, I'm not going to make myself mentally ill for this job. If you want to get rid of me now. And they still didn't get rid of me then, so I was like, okay, carrying on. And then it was when it was F1 and I had to chip. And then the manager came in then, and it was just unlucky up for me that he walked in.
So you ate a chip?
Yeah, I ate a chip.
Had he seen you eat a chip?
Yeah, and he went to me, you should not be eating that, you should only be eating broccoli. And then
God.
And then he said, because they knew I worked in a gym as well, he said, fitness coach my arse.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
I know, but
that is crazy.
He said it in like in French, because they were French, and one of the other girls who spoke French, she was like, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what he just said, but now it's bad, because I just felt like I just kind of in silence, and I was like, oh my god. And then she told me, and then that's what got me, that fact that you've already insulted one career, don't start insulting another one.
Oh my god, so that is terrible. Like, you should have had a much better understanding of that situation. Like, you literally just ate a chip. Obviously, wrong place, wrong time, very unfortunate, but still, that should be allowed. Do you know what I mean? And you probably just done hours of dancing before that, burned 10,000 calories, dancing, and then you just think, you know what, I need something just to kind of...
I need fuel in my body.
I need a little bit of fuel. And then he came over and kicked off. That's terrible. That's terrible. And so when he said that, is that the moment he fired you?
No, so then they let me dance again. And then it was the following week. I kind of knew something was in the air, and then we went on stage and then they pulled me off, and he didn't even tell me. It was the other man just came, like, pulled me aside and was like, you're fired. And I was like, and I said to her, is the reason because I ate the chip? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, wow. But at this point, it didn't upset me then because I was already getting over it because I was accepting what they told me.
So you knew the inevitable was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So they told you that you're too fat, then he said that you need to lose 2 stone, and then as soon as you see him eat a chip, it was game over.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And then when after that, I just thought, I'm not letting you speak to... I'm going to stand up for like me and other girls because he said it to me and I can take that. But if he said that to some, like, loads of my mates who I know wouldn't have been able to...
No, like, I think, like I say, I really want to talk to you about that because I even know if that was me, that I would have been affected by that. But like I say, for females now, especially with social media, it's so negative, isn't it? Social media is fantastic for a lot of things, but people really get dragged into the social media world. They rather look a certain way and then they do everything to look a certain way to try and please other people that don't really matter, rather than kind of focus on themselves and their own mental health.
Yeah.
So what is your advice then for anybody else that would potentially have heard news like that, because I'm assuming it's very common, and not get sucked into that, feeling a certain way and just kind of loving yourself and just be healthy?
Yeah, I would just say stop comparing yourself to everyone else.
Yeah.
And the main thing for me is everyone's different. Everyone's got different body shapes, different bone structures. And for me, when I was in Dubai, I thought, even if you wanted me to stick thin, I'm never going to be that because I've got a different skeleton than the skinny girl.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You can't be, even if I lost 2 stone, I still wouldn't get that size. So for me, I was just like, this is pointless. And then from that, I've always kind of been very big on the whole self-love, self-confidence, you are who you are. I've never really cared, to be honest. And luckily for me, I've tried to not get wrapped up in the social media world of trying to be like that person. Don't get me wrong, there's been times where I didn't think I could get into the fitness world because I wasn't skinny enough. But there was a point where I thought, I'm not skinny enough to be a fitness trainer.
You felt like you had to look a specific... I'm assuming this is in the past because obviously you're so much better now mentally, so much more confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
But you thought that you had to look a certain way before you start giving people advice.
Yeah, I thought that, oh God, for me to be a fitness trainer, I need to like have a 6-pack. And even with the dance world, years ago, I didn't have this mindset then, so I let it crush me. I did let it crush me before Dubai. I could have went further in where I wanted to be in the dance world if I had the mindset I have now. Yeah,
that's so good. So obviously the dancing career kind of built that mindset. But I suppose like when it comes to getting people in shape or having your clients, you don't need to look a specific way as long as you're helping them, as long as you're educating them, as long as you're giving them a better understanding and loving themselves and giving them a path, giving them direction. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that's why they could keep going back to you, I suppose, isn't it? But you've thought that you had to look a certain way.
Yeah, I did, but then for me, all the stuff that I felt has helped me now help other women, because for me, my main thing with the women is love yourself. And if you're doing what I'm telling you to do, and I don't tell them to do these hard, mad things, it's simple really, it's just eat clean and do your training with me, and I make sure that all our training is enjoyable, so they're feeling their best self. And that's why I've added a bit of the dance element into my training, so the feeling sexy, dancing to the music, the shaking the hips, and
I bet they love it.
Yeah, they do. And it's so, for me, it's so rewarding to see a woman come like very shy in herself, because it's all I've been doing.
That must take a lot. Do you know what I mean? I think we're in a position now, me and you, obviously we've been doing it for years, so people come to us. So, but it still must take a lot for someone to kind of message you or message myself and say, how can I get involved in X, Y, and Z? And straight away, they probably compare it to my other clients, or you might get someone message you and compare it to your other clients, thinking, no, I'm not advanced enough just yet to kind of join Mel's program or join Phil's program. But it's not about that, it's just about getting them into your community, loving themselves, sticking to the basics.
I think as well with like obviously the online training, my community is very strong, and I've always wanted a women's community. I said it years ago to myself, didn't know how I was going to get it, didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew the end goal for me was have a women's community because there's not enough of women loving other women and pushing women up. Like if I see another woman doing well, I'm like, go on, like she's smashing it. And I think in our day and age now, because of social media, it's so easy for other girls to get jealous of other girls and try and tear them down, and try and pick up little things that they might be doing wrong. But if it's working for them, it's working for them. Let them stay in their lane. And I think in our world especially, there's so many fitness trainers.
It is a bit saturated, isn't it? And it's quite bad at the moment, isn't it? But it's bad, I think, that people don't support each other as well. And I think actually see loads of little quotes about this that people don't really support because they're jealous that they're static or you're going up and you're doing something for yourself. You're thinking outside the box, like you were saying. You're live on Instagram just because you felt it's cool and got to get people involved. Your mindset is always about helping other people. So what's your thing called now, anyway? Is it
Beatbox is what it's called because years ago I'd done a fitness app with a boxer, and I was the dancer and he was the boxer, so I learned a lot from him, and he was very good, but he was a mentor, like kind of a mentor for me of like, again, being strong-minded. You've got to work hard to get to where you want to be. If I was ever like sitting there being lazy, like, why are you sitting on your ass for? Come on, you've got money to make, and I'd be like, oh my god, So now I'm like, like there's no time to waste. And with Beatbox, I always wanted the brand which was around what I truly believe in. I wanted to keep it real. I didn't want to give them letter sleeves and pretend I eat this for that and then go and have a chocolate bar. Like, I'm very real. I eat chocolate, I drink wine, I go out with my mates. I'm a sociable person, but I'm in my own, I've got my own thing which works for me, and as long as I stick to that and I'm consistent, and I know when and also I think a big thing is being true to yourself and admitting when you've gone wrong. I did go wrong there.
It's relatable because you're human, so holy shit, like Mel's just done this, but I can relate to that because I do it as well. And you probably want to work on that education with your clients in terms of like, listen, you can have a chip and you'll be okay. You won't get fired, or you can have a chocolate bar, you can go and have a few cocktails with your mates on a Saturday night and you can still get results because you need that balance. That's something I say to my clients all the time. Like, I actually recommend you to go and have a beer on Saturday. Why? Because you'll be consistent then. Like, if you do like a month of letter sleeves, there's nothing down for you.
And I think eating like that or whatever you're doing, restricting yourself, you're going to be unhappy. Whereas happiness comes from self-love, self-belief. And I think if you're loving yourself and you're working on yourself, and it's respect for yourself to look after yourself, and that's what I think is. No, this is no offence to anyone who doesn't train, but if you don't train, not even train, but if you don't look after yourself, whatever your self-care is, whatever your well-being is, whatever your thing is to look after yourself, if you're not doing that, for me, I'm like, you've got no respect for yourself.
Because you got one body as well.
And you've only got you, and you carry yourself around with you. You love the only person that you end up with. Obviously, you fall in love and you have boyfriends and girlfriends, but and how are you going to show happiness? Like, I'm quite a positive and happy person because I've done the work with myself and I admit to myself if I do go wrong or I am slipping off track.
Take responsibility for your own actions, don't you?
Like, I admit this, when I was in Dubai the first year, I was out every day drinking, partying.
It's a completely new lifestyle for you though, isn't it? But you weren't used to it.
And I knew I was like, something's going wrong here because I'm not in balance, because I want to be in the fitness world and I want to help people, but I'm totally just like throwing it back in my face because I'm constantly out drinking.
You probably felt a bit crap about yourself, waking up hungover, eating a bit of crap, and then you think there's no like answer. You gotta look after yourself, but that's in every aspect. Like, you are the ultimate priority no matter what. Even in business, when you were saying before, no, I've got money to make here. I've got stuff to do, so I need to kind of prioritise myself. And if you look at yourself first, your self-confidence, your self-love, everything else will just kind of fall into place.
And it does, doesn't it? And I think that's what I've learnt is, now I'm on this path of helping other people. I love it. If I don't do it, it doesn't feel like a job. It really doesn't. It feels like I wake up every morning, I see these girls, they're all from all over the country as well.
Class.
Not a lot of them are Scousers, to be fair, but I'm like, how amazing is that I'm connecting with you? There's 4 women from Austria, and honestly, she sent me a voice note a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, I just want to say like how much you've really changed my life. I've been bored in the house, and it's made her, because she told one of her friends who then joined, and they've seen each other for years, so they're connecting on Zoom through my community. So everyone's just connecting, and I think.
And the good thing about that as well, this beatbox came from you getting fired. So you took that getting fired by eating a chip and went, "Fumph." Fuck you to the fellow who said that to you.
Exactly.
And went, do you know what, right? And then, like I say, obviously when you were in the dance career, you learn so much about yourself, and then you start to build up a very positive mindset, but it could have went the other way easily. And then you smashed it now with your beatbox.
I am grateful for that, because I could have went the other way. I could have took that and been like, I'm shit, I'm not good enough, and then where would I have been?
Exactly. So we'll wrap it up, but I just want to say, what's your biggest advice then for any females now, or any girls watching this who are feeling very unconfident in themselves because they're comparing and they haven't got any self-love, and they're probably getting dragged into the Instagram world, which is very difficult to get yourself out? What's your biggest advice?
I say believe in yourself, respect yourself, go for it, don't hold back, and even if you do struggle along the way, there's always people to help you.
Brilliant. And we will leave it at that.